My name's Elaine Erne. I'm an artist from Philadelphia. I actually grew up in central Pennsylvania, but I went to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh and then to graduate school at Tyler School of Art and wound up just staying in Philadelphia. When I first went to Philadelphia to Tyler, I went as a glass artist. I was getting my master's degree and did receive my master's degree in kiln fired glass. And I worked in that medium for several years. And then I started switching over to drawing and printmaking when I came up with the idea of the lives and traumas of stuffed animals. So since then, when I started doing that, I realized the stuffed animals were not going to work as glass, and I had to go with a medium that it would work with, which was drawing and printmaking. So I started working after the glass in drawing and printmaking. I had done printmaking all my life, starting in high school when I worked with an artist named Cruelty. She taught me etching, lithography, woodblock, every type of printmaking, and I had always been drawing since I was a little kid. I actually went and visited my brothers a couple years ago and found sketchbooks from back in 3rd grade, which was kind of interesting. I was not drawing stuffed animals then, but there were a lot of stuffed animals in my room. So when I started this series, I just went back to the printmaking that I always loved and the drawing that I've always loved, and I started out just doing some sketches of stuffed animals on a clothesline and realized I want them to take up space, like bigger than a stuffed animal normally would. And the first drawing I did was of stuffed animals on a clothesline that were basically life-size. And that actually, to me, was a small drawing. Now that I look at it, it's only, I think, 42 by 72 inches, which compared to some of the drawings that are in this gallery, is relatively small. But at the time, it seemed like huge. And that first drawing of all the stuffed animals on the clothesline kind of gave a segue to all the animals that show up now in the drawings that are in this show, as well as some previous shows that include Lanie Doll, who's like the main doll-like figure, and then all the stuffed animals, which many are based on stuffed animals I had when I was a child. When we look at the work in the gallery right now, Lanie Doll is basically me. The stuffed animals include Pinky Dog, like Baby Bunny, Mr. Bunny. They're just animals I had as a kid. And a lot, since the work does relate to where I grew up and how I grew up, there is a correlation of the stuffed animals to Lanie Doll. I grew up in a very nice middle-class family on a farm, so it was a very beautiful place, but the place itself or the people there weren't always that nice. So the stuffed animals and the situations they are in kind of reflect how I felt growing up, like stuck in a situation I could not get out of. As a child, you're often, you're put in a situation that you really have no control over. So the stuffed animals in the drawings all look like they're smiling, they seem happy, but also the situation they're in does not look good. I mean, these guys are like hanging from little ropes or whatnot. Other ones are being like stabbed or run over. So the main gist of it is trauma of any kind. For me, it started out as childhood trauma, but then I can see these relating to anyone in situations they can't get out of. And I keep coming up with new ideas because it's amazing what weird little things stuffed animals can get into. Right now, I've started another drawing called Mr. Bunny Takes a Nap. So it's Mr. Bunny, who is in many of the drawings, laying on a slab in a morgue storage unit. So he's taking a very long nap. And there's some other drawings also coming up with Mr. Bunny and a couple more Mr. Clown drawings. And they're all also very big. That one is about 94 by 140. So that is my plan for this summer, is to spend it in a very hot studio drawing a bunny in a morgue. I would hope when people see this work, they will come away with just, I don't know, I wanted to have an impact in that they're, I don't know, make them think about when you see someone who's happy, maybe they're not happy, maybe you should look beyond just the facade of someone and understand if you know them well, understand if that's a real happy face or if they need something else. I think, with life being so fast as it is and social media, we just see the smiling faces even more now, and I think oftentimes don't get past that. So when you have a lot of close friends, like, make sure they're actually okay, because you can actually hide not being okay pretty easily. And also, I think my work has like a dark sense of humor, so I don't mind if people kind of think they're funny, because sometimes the only way you can get through things is just to find a way to laugh about it. I mean, you find the solution, but if you can find some humor, it can often just make things a little bit better. And I don't know, I sometimes step back from the drawings and I'm kind of like, I can't believe I made this. And I think people should also just step back and think, well, if someone could make something like this, I can do it too if I want to. I don't know, little encouragement for any artist out there who thinks things are like not doable, just find a way to do it. Well, future plans would be, I'd like to win the lottery, and then I can retire from teaching, and then I can spend all my time drawing bunnies. That's actually not a joke. So every once in a while I do buy a lottery ticket. When it hits, $500 million, $1 from my senior SEPTA riding ticket doesn't seem like a bad idea. Besides working on the stuffed animals, I'm also working on a series of the Secret Lives of Houses, which is just prints, and mostly prints, lithos, and etchings of houses that are yelling at each other, and in kind of like my neighborhood, people are like each other, but are talking behind each other's backs. So it has like a social commentary, I guess, in a way about neighborhoods and getting along with people, but also it's just kind of silly, and I just have fun doing it. They're not as tedious as doing these. The big drawings take like up to a year or longer to do and are very precise. The Secret Lives of Houses is a little more spontaneous, so I kind of bounce back and forth. And besides that, and winning the lottery, I'll adopt a couple more cats. My friends will tell me not to do that, but it's hard to say no to a fur ball. So I hope people enjoy the work. As a college professor, I hear students talk, and also for pre-college, kids talking about social media influencers that they love, and I'm just like, well, those people probably may not be as happy as you think they are, and also they're people you don't know at all, and you're letting them have way too much influence on your life. Like, I would look to your friends, look to your family, look to your teachers, something a little closer to home, and don't just assume that person's wonderful life is actually that wonderful. I don't know, it scares me a little bit.